started?
Yeah.
Okay, good morning, Chaverim. We are in Likutei Moharan Zayin Tinyana. This shiur is sponsored by for the Nishmat of Shlomo ben Esther, Sibuya, and for the recovery of the Disya Bat Mesoda B'ezrat Hashem. Fine. So we're holding in Torah Zayin Tinyana, and we're in a very, very crucial juncture. We're speaking about the avodah of the Tzadik, how he gets people to move. Of course, always to keep in context that the Tzadik has a real pity on the world, that the world should not sin. That's the worst thing. The way he does that is he gives knowledge. But now we're going a little bit deeper, what kind of knowledge he's getting. Of course, when you give knowledge, you get knowledge, makif. So when you're teaching, you get downloads. When you teach what you know, you understand new things. That we said in the past year. The Tzadik, when he teaches what he knows, well, he's at the ultimate summit of knowledge in this world. So what he ends up getting is the knowledge of the next world. Since the next world is above time and space, so the knowledge and the makif that he's getting is beyond time and space. In other words, there's not enough time in the world to be able to explain what he understands. When you come to the Tzadik Emes, don't think you're in the same level, you're in the same league as him. Not at all. He's in another league, he's in another world. He's having pity on you, coming down to this world to give you some knowledge and trying to fit into dibur, mitzamtzem the dibur in a way that you can hold on to it. But really, the diburim that he's giving you are coming from atik, from places that just to have that dibur, a little bit that goes into your mind, you're actually holding onto a rope which is hanging from heaven. So that's why you feel so energized when you hear from the tzaddik. So the tzaddik, though, once he gets that knowledge, we said he's zoichet to what's called marav tuv chacher tzafanta. You're getting knowledge from the next world, which is tzafun, which is hidden, and then because of that, he gets machamita mapishpashta. Because you're tapping into there, you become very small, and you become very humble, and you start to realize that, wow, I have a long way to go. As much as I've done in this world, I haven't begun to move. There's a person that's walking in the desert, and he sees he's thirsty, so he sees a stream of water. And when he comes to the stream of water, he realizes it wasn't there, it was a mirage. His mind created an illusion. And really the real stream is 10 miles ahead. So when he thought he was close, he thought he was very close. Then when he gets closer, he realizes he's very far. You think that you know, until you realize what you don't know. When we open a whole new world, you've gotten to all the knowledge that's possible in this world. Now we open a whole new universe, which is endless. And so then you start to feel a little humble. Machamita, mapishpashta. So Hashem does to the tzaddik what the tzaddik will do to you after. Hashem, the tzaddik, realizes compared to Hashem, what does he know? Zero. Because of that, he has this in his pocket. And he lives it, and if you live it, you can give it over. So the tzaddik now, when it comes to his talmidim, he does two things. And this is called kol. The tzaddik is called kol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. He's able to deal with the lofty people and the lowly people. He's able to deal with the darimane and the darimate. He's able to deal with the olam elyon and olam tachton, upper worlds, lower worlds. Shamayim u'ba'aretz, heaven and earth. He's able to be mekayem both, deal with both type of people. Like we said, some mashpim, some tzaddikim can only deal with the elite. They can't go down a level. And some can only deal with the simple people. They don't have what to give to the elite. So the tzaddik emes has to be able to deal with both. Like we said, Moshe Rabbeinu has to deal with a water carrier and give him the strength to serve Hashem. And he has to deal with Aaron HaKohen to make Aaron Kohen feel like he hasn't started. Yesterday at the Rosh, but we're telling the story of Rabbi Yudo. Rabbi Yudo was a Rebbe. He was a tzaddik in his own right. He came to Rabbeinu, he came into the room, he said, Yinamdenu Rabbeinu derech Hashem. The Rebbe should teach us the way to serve God. Rabbeinu took off his veil of Yirat Shamayim. Listen to yesterday's class. The tzaddik hides his energy, he hides his light, he hides his aura. Moshe Rabbeinu had to wear a mask, otherwise people wouldn't be able to come. So the tzaddik, to allow us to come close to him, he hides his light. If we say that the tzaddik is connected to the next world, you know what he has access to? You know what he could shine on you? So the tzaddik is hiding his light, and Rabbeinu said to the point where if he would remove the veil around himself, you wouldn't be able to come near to his house for amot. You would be petrified and trembling and shivering, and you wouldn't be able to even come and touch the knob of the door. So Rabbeinu took off his veil of Yirat Shamayim. He took off his veil to expose his Yirat Shamayim to Rabbi Yehuda, who became, at the end, one of the greatest Talmidim of Rabbeinu himself. He was a Ban Mofet himself. He was doing Pidyon Nefesh, stories of Rabbi Yehuda afterwards. And Rabbi Yehuda, he told him, Ladat ba'aretz darkecha. You're asking, Yilamdenu Rabbeinu derech Hashem. Teach us the ways of Hashem, the derech, the path. And he quoted a pasuk we say every day in Shacharis and Tehillim, Ladat ba'aretz darkecha. You're in the mud, you're in Tavot, you're full of physicality, and you would like to start to know about lofty concepts? It doesn't work like that. Rabbi Yehuda should be in the Haaretz. Alvai we should have the merit to look at Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is Kodesh Kodeshim. He's a Rebbe in his own right. He's a Tzadik. And I said that Rabbi Yehuda became so scared, he became petrified. I think he started to cry. See the exact language of the story. And then Rabbeinu closed the veil, was masbir lo panim, started to smile to him. Why are you scared? Come, my son. You know, Bini, I give him a kiss. It's okay, everything. What's wrong? I'm just a little smarter than you. Don't be scared. And Rabbi Yehuda started to take a little bit of confidence and feel better. You know, he stepped back there. And then Rabbeinu did it again. He did it again. And then Rabbeinu again went to the corner. And he did it 2 or 3 times like that until Rabbeinu he left the room, said, okay, this is my place. I'm never leaving here. Drop everything. I'm moving here. And he came to live next to Rabbeinu. And he dropped everything. He became...
I don't understand. He scared him, or he showed him like...
He showed him... What I wanted to explain to you is that what is Yirat Shamayim of Rabbeinu? When you start to realize how lofty he is, how holy he is, if Hashem would start to show a little bit what's really doing in this world, you think people would be walking around with all of their kavod and all of their gava and feeling so. 1 second, Hashem in 1 second, in one moment when Mashiach can come, with one little movement. Remember COVID, one day of COVID, the first days, how people were petrified, what's going to be, it's the Sof HaOlam. That was nothing, it's a joke. Hashem in 1 second, the Tzadik in 1 second can show you his lofty level, and because of that will fall in the person a tremendous yira, fear of heaven, but it's really a fear, it's not a punishing. Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't punish anybody. He's not allowed to punish. Only Hashem can punish. So why were people scared? There's a Marsha that says that in Masechet Berachot. Why were people scared of coming close to Moshe Rabbeinu? Yirat romimut, awe of the greatness. There's 2 types of fear. One is fear of being punished, and that's the entry level, and most people stay there, and it's very important. You do a mistake, there's a consequence. Please don't do avirot. If you did an avirah, fix it. Do tshuva. Hashem wants to forgive you. But then there's another level of starting to realize you start to realize the truth of reality and the truth of Hashem. And it's not anymore theoretical, it's real, you're living it, and that gives you a real fear. That gives you also a lot of momentum to be able to improve yourself and to go forward. Because you were a little bit complacent, you're patting yourself in the back. I'm doing pretty good. What do you mean? You know, I learned Torah, I know the Shas, I learned even Zohar, Kitva Arizah, Rabbi Yehuda Nukiad Arizah. I have students, I have Talmidim. We want to know the ways of Hashem. What do you know the ways of Hashem? You're like, you haven't begun. Rabbeinu once said that even Rabbi Natan and Rabbi Naftali, Rabbeinu, at a certain point, and it's connected so much to this Torah, he started to deal with the maskilim of Uman. In the time of Rabbeinu, there was the beginning of the Reform movement, which caused so much havoc in the world. Baruch Hashem, you know, us in the Sephardi countries, we didn't have that. We had people that fell for Tavot, but we didn't have anybody who wanted to change the Torah, to uproot the Torah. Even the guy would come to shul, he wasn't how he was, but the rabbi was the rabbi. And the guy is very low level, but he kisses the hands of the chacham. We never want to uproot the Torah. Yeah, there's tavot, there's onam hazeh, there's difficulties, and I have an attraction, but I believe in God and I believe in the rabbi, and why should I become like that? I remember when I was a kid, the old Moroccans would say, Kashem nu pardon. They would do things and they would say, Hashem should forgive us. That goes in a kid's mind. Why? That means you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing. That means you really believe. That means you're just falling because you can't overcome it. Wow, that sticks with a kid. It stuck with me. So, but there are people that try to uproot. They thought that all the persecutions and the pogroms were because that we're too different. Let's be a little bit, let's merge with the goyim. Let's take away some differences. And to the point where they became one generation. Maybe the intention was maybe good at the beginning, but then it became a big mess afterwards. They didn't follow Chachamim, and it became a havoc. The place where the Maskilim had their headquarters. One of the places was Uman. So they started to come to Rabbeinu, and Rabbeinu at the beginning, they came to attack Rabbeinu, and they became karuch after Rabbeinu. They became lovers of Rabbeinu, followers. And Rabbeinu never really spoke about Hashem. He had all kinds of ways, which are going to speak together, how he dealt with them, to the point where many of them did Shuvah. And once Rabbeinu was, he was spending a lot of time with them. They were playing chess together. Rabbeinu would spend time playing chess with them. Rabbeinu has time to play chess. And there was a dibur from Rav Naftali and Rav Nosson. How are you spending so much time with them? Like you should be spending time with us. And the dibur of Rabbeinu is, you are domeh to me. So I think a Gemara. You're like your relationship to me, Rav Nosson. That Rav Nosson said, Rabbeinu said, nobody understands me at all except Rav Nosson and Rav Naftali a little bit. And so the Bresler was once sure how to mefarish that. Was it Rav Nosson understands fully and Rav Nosson a little bit, or both of them a little bit? Who really understands Rabbeinu? Rabbeinu said, out of all his Talmidim, it's Rav Nosson. He tells Rav Nosson, you're domeh to me like a klipat shum on my shoulder that I just blow in and flick it away. You never had a garlic? A garlic has a little paper peel on top over there, the first one, and that's like nothing. It's like it doesn't stick to you at all. It's so far removed from your essence. Imagine you have a peel of garlic on your shoulder and just get it away. Rabbeinu told Rav Nosson, that's what your relationship with me is. And Rabbeinu said on Rav Nosson that if I didn't have him, I wouldn't have one book left, and nobody understands anything, and now finally I have a Talmud. So he's able to tell to Rav Nosson, don't think we're as close as you are. You have him the gun. But how does Rabbeinu give that to Rav Nosson? Because Rabbeinu gets that from Hashem himself. As close as you are the Mashiach, you're the Tzadik Emes. And again, Rabbeinu wasn't the Mashiach. He did everything the Mashiach could do, but he said clearly that it wasn't the time for the Mashiach. If there would have been Mashiach, it would have been Rabbeinu. So the Mashiach, when it comes to close, there's not a closer person than Moshe Rabbeinu. There's not a closer person than the Mashiach. And he still feels like there's no real connection between me and Hashem. So since the tzaddik gets that feeling from Hashem, he's able to give over that feeling to his talmidim. So that's what it says here, that the tzaddik is giving over this concept, this hasaga of called ma. And if we look together in Not Zayin, a little bit lower, it's in bold. You see over there the word ma. Ma chamita ma pishpashta bichinat aye mekom kevodo. Now you know the secret what the Breslevers are screaming aye. What is aye mekom kevodo? The angels that are in the highest lofty places, when it comes for them to scream, to praise Hashem, what do they say? Aye. Where's Hashem? You don't know where Hashem is? You're in the next worlds. You're a lofty angel. You have no physical body that's preventing you from coming close to Hashem. And the angel, he's the one that says, Aye mekom kevodo. We don't know where Hashem is. So as great as you are, you don't know. And that's very important. It's very important for anybody who's in Avodat Hashem to know as much as you know you didn't begin. You didn't start yet. Torah Vav speaks about this as well. When things are going good, don't stop. Now it's time to push. When you're down and you're broken, we got to pick you up, not to let go. And there's going to be another asaga, which is right now. That's called Aye, Mikom Kivodo. I'm looking for you. I don't know where you are. Imesak Shamayim Shamata. In Torah Vav it says, if you get to the heaven, Shamata. You're still far away. Sham. Sheol Sheneka, Sheol Hineka. But in the pits, in hell, God is right there with you. Meaning the high person has to feel, you don't know. You know how it's becoming alive, this Torah? I'm telling you, it's going to come alive now. We're already now almost 20 shiur minutes. It's going to come alive. Keep at it. Get it again. Take your booklet. Review it. Listen to the shurim. Learn it with a friend. Give it over. Well, David gave it over last night. I gave it over last night. He's having Talmidim already. Tonight we have, everybody's coming. Tonight's a big thing. Get a friend. Get a chavrusa. You have the Torah now. You can't not come tonight. You have to come tonight. Come and bring a chavrusa and bring the Torah and open it up and give it over. You got to. You have it now. You know what it talks about. ולהפך, צריך להראות לדרי מטה, שאדרבה מלוא הארץ כבודו. Now, the tzaddik, that's one job. The second job of the tzaddik, what was I going to say? That the Torah is coming alive. It's coming alive. You know how it's going to come? These concepts are going to come alive by you. Like John told us yesterday, with his employee, the Rachmanut. Somebody else came to me yesterday, he started joining our shiur Gemara. And he told me, I've been learning Gemara alone for so long. And now I realize that I don't know a thing. I thought I understood it. I realized after the shiur, you're going so fast, you're explaining it, I realized that I don't know anything. I said, don't you realize? That's very good that you don't know anything. You just graduated. When you thought you know, you're very low. When you don't know, you're very high. If you're feeling you don't know, that's actually a very good sign. You're on a higher level. You're on a level, you're starting to grow. Now, the tzaddik can't suffice with that. Because there's a lot of people that don't need that. If you start to tell them you don't know a thing, you're zero, you're very far from Hashem, tell that to some people, they're not going to hold on. They're going to be long gone. Thank you for telling me that. Where's the exit? So here says Rabbeinu, ולהפך, צריך להראות את הרמתה, שאדרבה מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. There are people darimata. There are people that are broken. There are people that want to give up. There are people that want to jump off a building. The tzaddik has to show them melo kol haaretz kevodo. It's the second thing what the angels say. Moshe. We say ayim mikom kevodo, but the angels also say melo kol haaretz kevodo. Hashem is everywhere. He's right there with you where you are. Ki yesh shochnei afar. There are people who are really in the mud, in the dirt. Shem ben adam munachim b'madriga tachtona. There are people on very low spiritual levels. V'nidme lehem shem rechukim me'od me'od mimenu yitbarach. They feel like they're extremely far from God. Tzarich hatzadik le'orera min hakitzam. And because of that, it sounds like maybe they're sleeping. What does it make a difference anyways? Who's looking at me anyways? Like I hear people say, does it really make a difference if I do a mitzvah or not? What in the world does this little lowly creature have any influence on God if I do this or don't do that? Does Hashem really care if it's like this or like that? Come on, leave me alone. Said Kriyat Shema this minute or this minute. Come on, what does it make a difference? No, you are very close. Hashem is right there with you. The tzaddik needs to wake him up. Don't think that. Bivchinat akitzu ranenu shachnei afar. Wake up, sing. The ones that are shachnei afar. You know what's amazing? The singing over here.
Yeah.
Hakitzu ranenu shachnei afar. You know that guy that came to Uman? He doesn't know why he came. Who bought me a ticket? What in the world am I doing here? Am I really crazy that I traveled to Ukraine? And then all of a sudden he starts to hear the nigunim, and there's somebody that takes out a tabuka, and the nanachs are going to grab them to dance. And now he starts to get this light. Hashem is with you. Hashem yitbarach, tamid ohev oti. That's what he came out of Uman with. Hashem loves me. And he's dancing, and he's dancing, he's dancing. I remember the first Uman I came, we were still playing in the klois, downstairs, the Sephardi klois. There was no other minyanim. There was the klois, that's it. How many minyanim today?
Yeah.
And I remember a certain point, even man got up on the table, on the chair. He was on fire over there. The klois, it was like, the klois was, he was sitting in front there. He was the makar of the klois. Remember? And he started to, and then the Syrians there and everybody. I couldn't believe where I was. This is Rosh Hashanah. What is that? I never saw Rosh Hashanah like this. And you know, you don't know so much Torah. You don't know musagim. You don't know nothing. But the energy and the simcha and the love that you feel that Hashem is surrounding you with, so you start to dance. That's asaga of Meno Kol Haaretz Kevodo. Well, I thought it was so esoteric, this Torah. I see it's alive. You come back. Well, Hashem is really here. Hashem is really with us. There's really ashkacha. Akitzu ranenu shochnei afar. The one is in the mud, he's in the dirt. Wake him up. Let him sing. Right? The guy is rushing to Beit Midrash. He doesn't have time to sit and dance. Sing and dance. He should dance every day. But some people, they're dancing there for hours in Uman. Who is giving them that fire? The Rebbe. The Rebbe's giving them fire. You're going to dance. You're going to sing. Wake up, Hashem is with you. I don't know anything. Don't even know how to read. Hashem is with you. The tzaddik gives that feeling, and it's so deep that he can't explain it. That's when he comes back to the regular world and he starts to tell people, Hashem, Achi, you're nuts. He can't verbalize the energy that he felt and the feeling that he felt and the kiss that he got. He can't verbalize it. V'deganot lehem sh'Hashem imam. The tzaddik has to show them, Hashem is with you. By the way, it's absolutely 100% true. Menokon Haaretz is true. Hashem is right there with you at every single second. There's nothing more precious than you in the whole world. I don't want to go over time. Oh, how much time we're at?
21 minutes.
We'll stop here. Hashem is with you. Menokon Haaretz kevodo. Ayem mekom kevodo.